What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's daily market recap. This week has been phenomenal. It's not been a record-breaking week by any means, but it's been super consistent. I mean, I've just been really impressed with the level of volatility that we've been seeing in the market. And a lot of the catalysts that I've been trading this week have been tied into cryptocurrency, which has been really interesting. I didn't expect that, but it kind of began a couple weeks ago with that initial private placement on UPXI. And then that fed right into a couple more huge moves. And then we had a number of them this week. So as I sit here right now, I'm up $35,415.16 on the day. Where's that put me on the month? Well, let's pull up my TraderView stats here. So this is going to be my P&L on the month, 199,000, and that was before today. So $234,000, $235,000 on the month, and we still have a full 3 weeks left for May. Now, we do have the Memorial Day holiday on, I think it's Monday the 26th, but nonetheless, we still have a lot of time left this month, and I'm really impressed. Now, if we look back to April, in April, I had a record-breaking week right here. This is the best week of the year so far, 200,000. But that was thanks to 55,000 on Monday, and then 61,000 on Tuesday, and then another 50,000 on Thursday. Friday was totally slow. Wednesday was, medium. And so, you could argue that, in fact, this week has been, a bit more consistent, 38, 29, 33, 24, and now 35 today. So, month to date, let's take a look at the metrics and just kind of see where we're at. So this month, let's check accuracy first. So I'm going to run the report. I'm going to switch over to the detailed window right here. And accuracy, 82% right here on the month. Average winners, $2,400. Average losers, $418. Average losers only holding them half a minute, basically bailing instantly. Average winners, 4 minutes long. So, if I could maintain these for 6 months, I'd be blown away. But, we look at the year to date, and I haven't been able to maintain those kind of metrics over, year to date. Year to date, I'm at 72% accuracy, 20,000 average daily gain versus 33. So, but nonetheless, sitting at 1.7 million on the year right now, and it's May. So we still have a lot of year left, and my goal is still 5 million. And if I can keep averaging, $30,000 a day, I'll certainly actually exceed it. So we'll see what happens. All right. So enough of that. I just thought I'd throw that out there just to kind of show you where we're at right now, where I'm at. I'll remind you, as always, my results aren't typical. I've been doing this for a long time, but what I will say is that the market right now seems to be quite favorable for the momentum day trading strategy. So we're in a little window here where there's a pocket of opportunity, and I want to try to capitalize on it as much as I can, because inevitably, things will slow down again. And when they slow down, I've got to be able to take my foot off the gas, be patient, wait until things pick back up before I lean in again. All right, so this morning, pulled up the scans on my phone fairly early this morning and saw ZKIN. All right, so ZKIN, this one made a big move yesterday, continued the move this morning, and I was like, well, nice after hours, but realistically, we're sort of stair-stepping down, right? So when I sat down at about 7 a.m., I just thought, it kind of reminds me of ASST. And the last couple of days when we tried to trade ASST, it wasn't really that clean. So, ASST had a similar sort of pre-market move here just the other day, which I'll show you. So kind of squeezed up and then sort of pulled back. And it did end up working at the open, but it was sort of choppy. This morning, ASST has pulled back a little bit. Oh, and I just saw NVVE just got halted up. Nice breakout. This one I had on watch over that level right there of 265. So nice to see that squeeze into a halt. And that's up 157%. The headline on this is, what was it? Let's see. I'm going to pull it up over here. There was some news on it about cryptocurrency, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. So, engages crypto venture to accelerate digital asset strategy. This is so funny. This is the headline that we keep seeing. It's really kind of, it seems like almost silly. SRXH This stock squeezed up like 200% this morning from 50 cents to $1.50 on news of purchasing $1.5 million in cryptocurrency tokens. I mean, if all it takes to go up 200% is to create a company, buy $1.5 million of crypto, and your stock will go up 250% or whatever, I mean, that seems kind of outrageous. But, we get into these cycles in the market where we just see this exuberance. And this is always the line between fear and greed. Right now, people are being a little greedy. They're being pretty aggressive, and there's a lot of momentum in the market, but that will switch to fear at some point. Some of these will start doing big rejections. Some people will get burned, and then you'll realize, I got to step back here before I give back too much of my profit. So when I sat down and saw ZKIN, I didn't think that was very interesting. Skipped over that one, but noticed GPUS was still holding up quite nicely. So this one had made this nice move yesterday, and I'd gotten some profit on it, although a little reluctantly, but I did trade it. This morning, it did have news out, and so I took my first trade getting in right here, and I was looking for the squeeze through 928. We came up to about 928, and there was a big seller on the ask. I got out, and we caught this big flush, which was disappointing. So that was not really the trade that I was hoping to start the day on. It was green, but I gave back, it wasn't nearly what it could have been because of that big flush. So finished up $2,200 on it. That was my first trade of the day. And if we kind of pull this back and even just look at the 10-second chart on it, you can see how you sort of got this consolidation right here. And then as it started to pop up right there, I jumped in it. It squeezes up, goes up to a high of about, this was about 9,870 up to about 928. And then that's where it hit that seller, and then it dropped back down. So kind of a quick trade, jumping in, jumping out there. But, got the first couple $1,000s of profit on the leaderboard, and with that was looking for the next trade. So that was about 10 past 7. So then the next trade came at about 7:25 on WBUY, WBUY. Now, WBUY was a stock that I traded, or actually, I don't think I traded it. I saw it on the scanners yesterday. It squeezed up in one candle from $10 a share to $26. And then it gave it all back and actually sold off a bit more and then sold off a bit more. And then this morning popped up, pulled back. And so right here, right there, I said, well, there seems to be a little bit of a resistance line, right? And this is the level I was watching. And so this morning, as it popped up, I jumped in at what price? $11.60. I thought, yeah, $11.60. We're breaking the flat top. So I got in at $11.60, or it was just under that level. And I was looking for the squeeze through $11.60. So let's see. So anyways, jumped in there, got a partial fill on my first order, actually filled just underneath that level, and then took profit as it came up to $11.60. Then I added back at 12. So all of a sudden, $11.98. So added back right there at 12. But I only got 554 shares filled of a 4,500 share order. I only filled 500 shares. So, I took my profit on it, and then I ended up adding at 13, which was $1 a share higher, and then taking profit, it squeezed to 14. And so in this move here, I only made about $3,000, even though the stock went up like $7 a share. And the problem was that I was not getting full orders filled on any of my trades. It was just, there wasn't a lot of volume. It was thinly traded. And so I only was getting small orders filled, which was disappointing. So then, so after that, it pulls back a little bit. I got a nice dip off 16. It pops back up to 18. And that right there, along with this dip and this pop, and then this curl right here, these were the areas where I was able to take full-size positions. But it's kind of, so I made $3,000 on that huge spike, or maybe it was $4,000. And then I made the rest here, but it was because I was able to accumulate 10,000 share positions and get 50 cents a share and do that 3 or 4 times. And boom, there you've got $21,000 in profit. So this was not super easy. And then, higher priced. And what's really interesting is look at the open, all of a sudden the volume spikes. But what also happened at the open was the spreads, they didn't get tighter. They got bigger. Now, this seems counterintuitive. Higher volume should mean tighter spreads, but it was the opposite. And this has been happening on a regular basis at the open. And I'm attributing it to the fact that at the open, people start using market orders, And the high-frequency trading algorithms that are executing and responding to these market orders are keeping the spreads bigger. Because when you do a market order to buy, you fill basically, you're telling the broker you'll fill at whatever price. When you do a market order to sell, you're saying you'll fill at whatever price. So the bigger the spread, who makes more money? The market maker. So I think they're keeping the spreads larger at the open so they can profit more on this retail order flow. That's the only thing I can attribute it to. I don't know what else it would be that would have the stock in, relatively reasonable tight spreads, essentially, more or less from this point forward. From this point forward, the spreads became tighter. They were a little bit bigger right through here, and the liquidity wasn't great. And then, they tightened up pretty well. And then all of a sudden here, in spite of higher volume, the spreads got bigger again. That doesn't make sense. So because of that, I didn't feel comfortable taking any more trades in this area. It was just too choppy. You could see we popped up, we halted up, we dipped down, we halted up, we halted down, we came back up. It was too difficult. So that was WBUY. And then we had SYTA. So SYTA pops up, and on this one, I got in at $1.50. Now, if I show you the candles on the 1-minute chart, you'll probably look at this and say, I don't understand why you bought right there at $1.50. That doesn't make sense. So let me show you on the 10-second chart. On the 10-second chart, you're going to see exactly where I got in. So I'm going to back this up, and I'm going to show you right there. Boom, right there. So we squeezed up to $1.50, but we pulled back for about 10, 20 seconds and then pushed higher. And then pulled back for another 30 seconds and then pushed higher. So bought the dip there, bought the dip there, bought the dip here, and sold as we were getting these, this squeeze to the upside. So ended up with $8,500 in profit on SYTA, which was really nice. So that sent me from up 24,000 on the day to up about 33,000 on the day. And then the last trade was NVVE. So NVVE, which has continued without me, great to see. I took my first trades on this a little bit earlier here. So on this one, we had this pop, the pullback, curled back up, and I took that trade right there for the break through $2. So that was my trade that I took on NVVE, and that was it. So I didn't overstay my welcome today. I didn't overtrade. I may be leaving a little profit on the table, but I'm walking away with some good profit in my pocket. So what does the next week have in store for us? I don't know. It's just going to be a guess. Now, of course, I'll upload my game plan on Sunday night, which will be my watch list for Monday morning. But for those of you guys who've been watching on the sidelines, I would encourage you to join us for a couple weeks. It's a 2-week trial for $20. You can watch over my shoulder as I'm trading the markets, and during the 2-week trial, you'll have access to Day Trade Dash, this software right here. Scanners, charts, newsfeed, the chat room, everything else. And you'll get access to a few classes, so over the weekend, you can start studying up to get yourself a little bit more prepared for Monday morning. Now, I want to remind you, as always, to practice the new strategies you're learning in a simulator before you ever put real money on the line. So thank you guys as always for tuning in. Support the channel by hitting the thumbs up and subscribing, and I'll put links to a couple other episodes right here, and over there that you guys can check out, and I hope you enjoy them, and I will see you bright and early on Monday morning.